the meeting to order, please. I'd like to ask Ken Lushin if he would open our meeting with some prayer.
In our wonderful new space, let us pray. The study of Torah, the Old Testament, charity, and prayer, the three pillars on which the world stands. There are different types of prayers: prayers of gratitude, prayers in which we beseech the Great Spirit, prayers in which we ask for forgiveness. Tonight, in the season of rebirth, and in the season when Jewish people were led out of slavery and given the Ten Commandments, I want us all to engage in a prayer of gratitude. I ask that each of you feel in your heart the gratitude that we have a system of government that allows us to peacefully and seamlessly transition from one mayor to another, from one administration to another, and that in this time of rebirth, our city will again experience its own renewal. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Now I'd like to ask the Aroma Park Primary School Speech Program youngsters to please come forward and lead us with our pledge. All the way there. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Turn around if you're going to do your school pledge. Go ahead. No one started. Go ahead and start. Go ahead, you start. Before I start the roll call, first of all, I want to welcome you to our new refurbished old facility. This is our new public safety center. This is the refurbished city council chamber in the community hall. We're glad to have you here tonight. I would like to recognize two of the architects who were here, Doug Bright and Bud Holt, who's standing in the back. If you please stand up. I think you did an outstanding job with this building. We consider it basically built in 1928, and they've taken it into the next century, the modern century. We will have an open house a little bit later this month. Right now, they just moved in last Thursday and Friday, and we're sort of all trying to get used to our new dish, as they call it here. So I'm sure we'll have to work through some situations or problems we might run into. Hopefully, we won't run into many. But this is a great facility for this community, and I think I owe a deep debt of gratitude to these architects, to Richard Sims, who is our construction manager on this project, as well as the administration building. And when we consider what the community received back by being able to rehab the old library and turn that into an administration building, building and rehab it into public safety center. So the fire department and police department is operating out of modern facilities. And I think they did one heck of a job. I hope everyone feels the community got a bargain for what we were able to do. I think sometimes it's better to take what you have and save what you have than to tear it down and start brand new. So hopefully this building's good for another 80 to 100 years. So anyway, welcome to be here tonight. Roll call, please.
Brown.
Here.
Hunter.
Here.
Epstein. Here. Barron.
Here.
Williams. Yasiel.
Here.
Swanson.
Here.
Pearson. Jones.
Present.
Sway.
Present.
Cox. 11 present, 2 absent.
I forgot to mention too, Alderman Williams is dead ill. He is at home. We have him on the speakerphone, so he will be participating in this meeting tonight. Department heads?
Kincaid.
Here.
Young.
Present.
Doyle.
Here.
Spice.
Present.
Boland.
Present.
Howard.
Here.
Leshan.
Here.
Sims.
Present.
Tyson.
Present.
Shaw.
Present.
Nolan.
Here.
Gordon.
Present.
Bertrand.
Here.
Thank you. You have the minutes of the March 16, 2009 meeting. I need a motion to approve.
Seeing no objection from my colleagues, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion by Alderman Brown, seconded by Alderman Hunter to approve the minutes of the March 16, 2009 meeting. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next, we'll move into petitions. First of all, we have number PB 09-03. It's an application by Bungie Milling Incorporated requesting a preliminary and final plat approval to subdivide an existing 30-acre tract within the city of Kankakee. First of all, we have to accept the findings and recommendations of the planning board. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I move that we accept the findings and recommendations of the planning board.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Alderman Hunter, seconded by Alderman Brown to accept the findings and recommendations of the planning board. Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter.
Aye.
Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Yasiel.
Aye.
Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Cox. 11 ayes, 0 nays.
Next, we need to approve the final plat.
Move to approve the final plat.
Is there a second? Second. Motion by Alderman Hunter, seconded by Alderman Brown to approve the final plat of Bungie Milling Incorporated. Any questions?
Why did they put where this is located at? I never had a chance to see. What was that?
Bungie, this is the old J.R. Short milling plant in Grinnell Road. Bungie purchased that plant and now they're asking to approve a final plat. That's what it is called.
Going to the old General Foods over there.
Okay, all right. Any other questions? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter.
Aye.
Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Yasiel.
Aye.
Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Cox. 11 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Any petitions from the floor? Hearing none, we'll move into communications. The first item on the agenda, we have a presentation by the United Way. I think Greg Carroll is here, and Chief Young, are you? The microphone for rail is live. Ms. Redmond.
I'd just like to introduce Greg Carroll, who's the Executive Director of United Way Kankakee County.
I just quickly want to say thank you to this entire City Council for everything you've done for the United Way this year. You've raised a monumental amount of money for a gift that is going to go to help many people at a time that we desperately need it. I want to thank you for allowing the mayor to come and help us on many presentations. Would be one of the co-chairs, his wife and him, and you doubled your contributions this year. So What you've done is amazing, and I want to say thank you again for everything everybody has done to help.
At the United Way dinner, I made a comment. I said, Chief Young did such a good job. We'll probably find to do this, every year. He did a heck of a job. He was recognized as the leading, and I'll get the initials wrong, was it?
UCC?
UCC, that's the leader within the business. He got the award of all the businesses in the industry in the community for what he did for the city. He did one heck of a job. So, and our employees did a heck of a job. Thank you. Next, we have information from Comcast and 2 different communications. We have a request from King Middle School and the Shiloh Baptist Church. Do we want to handle both of those?
I'd like to approve those in March, both of those items. Move to approve item 17.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Hunter, seconded by Alderman Brown to approve the request of King Middle School and Shiloh Gospel Baptist Church. All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we'll move into standing committees. First of all, license and franchise. Alderman Johnson.
There's 2 months worth of meetings in there, but it's information.
Thank you. License and franchise is done, and there's 2. And then I believe there's Public Works, Alderman Brown.
Minutes containing the package.
Next is the planning and code.
Everything is contained in the packet.
And finally, the budget committee.
We met last Monday and considered several items. The first item, first of all, these require action, and the action is later in the meeting.
You can go ahead and do them now.
Okay. All right. First item was School District 111 request for TIF funds from the city. As you know, in the past we have because inclusion of real property in a TIF means that the other taxing bodies don't get the increase in value for real estate tax purposes. In the past, we periodically given money to the school district, roughly equivalent to what they're missing out on. In this case, the school district, who hasn't asked us for funds for several years, has asked us for up to $250,000 to be applied toward a track at the high school. These are funds that they otherwise wouldn't be able to afford. And so, after a discussion, the Budget Committee recommended to the full City Council that we approve the TIF allocation to District 111 for up to $250,000 to be applied toward the track at the high school, but only upon proof of the fact that the money has actually been spent. So I would move that we would authorize Mayor to transfer those funds of $250,000 upon proof of expenditure.
I was secretary to Your Honor, and I understand that President P. Cracklow advised Carl Alderman Brown and myself to make sure that they receive kudos for their push towards getting this particular project up and moving.
On the motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter, there's a recommendation to the City Council that we allocate and obligate $250,000 out of that TIF district to go to District 111 when the project is completed. Alderman Barron, I think if you'll read the letter from the school district, they really would have liked about $400,000. We don't have that much money to allocate, but we did this 2 years ago. We allocated about $240,000, I believe, to the district then, and this is the request Former Alderman Jess Gandy is here. He's the president of the track club. This is a project that they certainly are advocating that we get it done, and because of the need that they want to sponsor here. And I think this is a great project for the city to be a part of, along with partnering with the school district. Any other questions? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter.
Aye.
Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Diasio.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sway.
Aye.
Cox.
Aye.
11 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carried.
The second category of things that we considered at the meeting was a issuance of new bonds. And these bonds fall into two categories. Number one is refinance, refunding of bonds that we have issued in 1997, 98, 99, and 2000. The purpose for doing that, and that is the amount, the proposal is to refund is the amount of $15.06 million. The purpose for that is twofold. Number one is to do it for the reason that anybody would refinance their debt, and that is to take advantage of favorable interest rates later. By refinancing this, we're going to be making money, we're going to free up money. The second is to spread out the repayment of the refinanced bonds in an equal fashion over the years, so that when as we're paying them, we're not going to have a large refinance amount 1 year and then drastically reduce the next year. So refinancing, the amount that we're going to be paying out of our taxes will be level. So that's one. That's $15.06 million. The second is new money, and the new funds that we're asking to borrow by way of bonds is $10.33 million. If you've read the Budget Committee minutes, you see that the largest share there is to come up with our matching amount for the Brookline Boulevard underpass reconstruction, which of course is, as you've been reading, is the big project that the city has to engage in at this point. There was also a list of other projects, both with the city and with the utility. As far as any specific questions go on that, we have Bob's here.
I think what we'd like to do is, I think Bob Vale is here from Bernardi, and Jim, you want to introduce whoever else there is, and I think they'd like to make a presentation to the City Council.
Thank you, Mayor. They would like to make a brief presentation, and thank you for the opportunity to introduce them. I have with me Robert Vale from Bernardi Securities. He's our underwriter. And I would want to mention, I don't want to forget that there was a joint underwriting on this issue, that Cliff Nippon's firm, which is Raymond James, had a part in that issue with the refunding of the utility bonds. And then also representing us as financial advisors is David Phillips from Spear Financial. You talked with the president of this firm, Kevin Hannah, in the past, and he's done the presentation on the bonds. But at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Dave and Bob and let them explain the issues. I know they handed out some paperwork to you tonight and explain more fully what we're doing. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. Good to be here this evening. And congratulations on your wonderful new facility. It's always great to be a part of financing that took place several years ago, and then being able to see the fruits of that this evening. As Alderman has indicated, there are two issues that are before you. The first issue is the Series 2009-8, which is the new money component. That has an average life of 13.744 years with a net interest rate of 4.229%. So you're looking at borrowing money over a 20-year retirement term with a 4.3% average interest rate. That's just a remarkably low interest rate in this type of economy. The second series that it references the refunding bonds, and these are shorter maturity that are again leveling out some of those payments, and that interest rate is 3.4958%. So, I'd like to introduce Bob Vail, who is the senior member of the underwriting team, and we'll review the issue in a little bit more detail.
Hello, everybody. I passed out a packet of information similar to what we passed out before, and Alderman Barron has gone over basically the specifics of each issue. So I'll make this brief and then kind of hit the high points on the presentation. If you turn to page 3, as they mentioned, there's 2 issues. There's an A and B. The first issue, 2009 A, was the new money, and that's for various city infrastructure projects, building projects, basically a whole list full, including the underpass of city projects, along with the component of the sewer utility. And page 4 gives you a breakout of what Dave was mentioning on the interest rates, bond yields, basically how this debt falls together. And as you'll notice, it's kind of starts low, jumps up real high, goes down, jumps up, it's kind of up and down. And the reason for that is we're trying to structure all your debt so there's no big bump, which I'll show in a couple pages, where your existing tax rate right now, it bumps up. And what we're trying to do is structure everything where we keep everything level and keep a window for new money borrowings in the future, where you're not going to have to increase that rate. So we're kind of trying to cap it now and have it slowly come down and shorten that as much as possible. On page 5, this gives you a quick breakout of your principal and interest payments on that first new money series, $10 million. Turn to page 6, this is the second issue. And the second issue refunds, I believe, 5 other outstanding issues of the city at a lower interest rate and with present value savings on each issue, and restructures them in a way to level that debt service tax rate, create that window for future borrowing, and increase as much present value savings in the refunding as possible. Page 7 and 8 are the same as the A issue, which shows you the yields, the total true interest cost of 3.49%, and page 8 shows you the actual debt repayments. Now, the important page in this is page 9. This is the tax impact, and basically what our goal was, which in blue is where, before this issue, where your current levy amounts and levy tax rates were for the bonds. And as you see in years 2013, 14, and 15, you get a big spike up. And our goal is to try and limit that approximately to $1.55, or currently where you're at today, restructure that debt at a lower interest rate, put the new money on top of it, and keep that at $1.55 the first couple of years and have that slowly drop off. And by doing that, the refunding saves $447,000 in present value savings. And I think we've actually done this at a very conservative EAB increase. Over the last 6 years, we've had a 4.36 increase in your EAB each year. We base this just on 3%. So I think our numbers are probably a little conservative, and we're able to accomplish $1.55 and below. Page 10 just gives you a comparison with some other issues that were issued the last couple of weeks. And especially if you look at years 2024 to 2029, those interest rates came in significantly lower than these other issues that are same credit or better credit than the city. We were able to obtain lower interest rates. And if you look at those debt schedules, those last 5 years, that's really where you're paying all your interest over the life of the issue. So getting those interest rates down significantly lowered your borrowing cost. And the last thing I wanted to hit on was the city's Standard & Poor's rating. We went through the same rating process as we've done in the last few years. with Standard & Poor's. As you know, reading out there's a lot of negative news in the economy. The rating agencies are getting hit pretty hard based on how they rated a lot of insurance companies and things like that the last few years. So we're taking a harder look at municipalities, your audits, your financials, your debt, and your current demographics. And we're proud to say that you were able to reaffirm your A rating with a stable outlook, which is very strong. And the reasons for that, I've actually included the actual report, the last few pages. The actual reasons I've highlighted 4 bullet points. You've got sound financial operations and very strong reserves. Your status as a governmental and service center for the county. Moderately diverse economy with ties to our Chicago metropolitan area, and your diverse tax base. So those are all very big positives and reasons for you to get the strong rating of A, which I've included at the end of your packet. And that all reflects your interest rates and why we're able to come back with a big borrowing. Think of anything tonight, you can give me a call.
Any questions from anyone? Okay, we need to go through 3 steps here, Alderman Barron. First of all, we must authorize the signing of the engagement letter with Chapman and Cutler. That's our bond counsel, so we need a motion to do that.
I would make that motion that we hire Chapman and Cutler to be our bond counsel for this bond issue.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter, to authorize the mayor and the city clerk to enter into the engagement letter to hire Chapman and Cutler as our bond counsel. Any questions? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter. Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Diasio.
Aye.
Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Wade. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Next is the recommendation to authorize the mayor and the city clerk to sign the insurance commitment letter with Assured Guarantee Company. That's for the bond.
That's so moved.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter, to approve the recommendation to sign the insurance commitment letter. Any questions? Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Diasio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Wade. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Next is the ordinance that will allow us to sell the bonds to the new money, which is $10,330,000, Series 2009A, and to refund the bond ordinance for $15,060,000, which is Series 2009B. We need to suspend the rules that would interfere with the passage of this ordinance.
That's so moved.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter, to suspend the rules that would interfere with the passage of this ordinance. Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Diasio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Wade. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. We need a motion to put this ordinance on its final passage and pass.
That's so moved.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter, to put these ordinances on the final passage and pass. Question? Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Diasio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Wade. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Next Next, we need to approve the preliminary official statement and notice of sale. Need a motion? Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter. Any questions? It's just the official statement of the city of Kankakee attached to the documents to sell these bonds. Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Diasio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Alderman Barron.
Thank you. That's all the action items we have. The rest of our meeting is summarized in less than minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming to the next is the report of officers. Is there a motion?
Report of officers, state the month of Buffalo County State Bill, the amount of $1,146,774.08.
Second motion.
Motion by Alderman Williams, seconded by Alderman Diasio to approve the report of officers, pay the bills in the amount of $1,146,574.08 and place the money in the proper accounts. Second by Alderman Diasio. Any questions on any of the bills? Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Diasio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Okay, under unfinished business, we're holding that in advance. We're not ready to vote on the purchasing ordinance yet, so we'll move into new business. We need to declare some property surplus in the city of Kankakee from the Code Enforcement Department. You have an ordinance in front of you, and we're looking for a motion.
I'll make the motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Epstein, seconded by Alderman Hunter to suspend the rules that would interfere with the passage of this ordinance. Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Diasio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to put this ordinance on its final passage and pass?
I make a motion to put the ordinance on its final passage and pass, please.
Motion by Alderman Epstein, seconded by Alderman Hunter to put this ordinance on its final passage and pass. Any questions on the ordinance? Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Diasio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Next, you'll note we're recommending that we waive the repair permit fees for the month of May. In recognition of Building and Safety Week, you have a memo from Eric Shaw in your packet, but I need a motion to do that because we'll be waiving those fees for 30 days.
I'd like to make a motion to waive building fees, and I have to clear, this is for repairs. This is not for new construction. And last year, we did this for, I believe, 2 weeks, but the committee felt strongly that in order to encourage people to make repairs at this time of year, that we would like to do it for the entire month of May.
Motion by Alderman Epstein, second by Alderman Jones to approve the waiver of the fees for 30 days in May 2009. Any questions? Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Diasio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Next, you have before you the budget annual appropriation ordinance for the Kankakee Municipal Utility. As you'll recall, I presented to you last month, and we said we would bring it back tonight. We could do it one of two ways. You could suspend the rules and pass it because it needs to be done by the end of this month, or you can put it on its first reading. That's up to the City Council. The administration will recommend that you suspend the rules.
I move that we suspend the rules and bring for the passage of the ordinance.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Epstein to suspend the rules that would interfere with the passage of this ordinance. Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter. Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Ciascio.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to put this ordinance on its final passage?
I so move.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Epstein to put this ordinance on its final passage. Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter. Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Ciascio.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Pearson. Jones.
Aye.
Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Next, we have an ordinance amending the chapter 32 for one-way street at 10th Avenue. Is there a motion from the floor?
I so move.
Suspend the rules that we went through with the passage of the ordinance.
Okay, motion by Alderman Pearson to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Swanson. Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter. Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Ciascio.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to put this ordinance on its final passage and pass?
I so move.
Motion by Alderman Pearson, seconded by Alderman Swanson. Any questions? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter. Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Ciascio.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Sway.
Aye.
Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. We have dealt with E, F, G, and H. We're down to I, which is seeking our private activity bonding authority. We have not had a request to use that bonding authority. We need to do something before May 1st. We're recommending that we cede this to the Will Kankakee Development Authority, which means if we have a project that comes forward, that we can go back to them and request that it be returned to us. If we take no action, then it goes back to the state of Illinois and it becomes of no use to us. So we are recommending that we do this to the Will Kankakee Development Authority. Is there a motion?
Is this by ordinance?
Yes, it is. We need to suspend the rules.
I would move to suspend the rules and for the passage and see to the bill.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter to suspend the rules and interfere with the passage of this ordinance. Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter. Epstein. Barron.
Aye.
Williams. Ciascio.
Aye.
Swanson.
Aye.
Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Is there a motion to put this ordinance on its final passage and pass?
I so move.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter to put this ordinance on its final passage and pass. Any questions? Roll call.
Brown.
Aye.
Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Fiasco. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Next is for the approval of the as-built plat map of villages at Indian Meadows, Phase 1. Dave, you want to speak to this issue?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
What this is, Indian Meadows was approved by Plan Commission, approved by this body, the final plat. It was approved in different phases as far as there being single-family duplex lots and multifamily lots. This is one of the multifamily areas where these are approved, and the density, everything remained the same, but in order to be consistent with what was presented to the Planning Commission, we're bringing back an as-built plan to show you that they're only putting 4 units on each one of these lots and to show you where they are and that there's no encroachments or no violations of setbacks. So it's a matter to make sure we keep our bookwork in order for these multifamilies out in the meadows right now.
So we need a motion from the floor.
I would move that we approve the as-built plan map of villages of Indian Meadows, Phase 1.
Is there a second? Motion by Alderman Pearson, seconded by Alderman Schway, to approve the as-built plat for Indian Meadows Phase 1. Questions? Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Fiasco. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Next is the appointment. It is my pleasure tonight to recommend the appointment of Steve Bertrand as the director of the Kankakee Public Library. He, of course, will take Cindy's place. This recommendation came to me from the Board of Trustees of the library. I do concur with that. I told Steve I was a little worried it was a tie vote that I would break it. I wasn't sure which way I'd go. I think Steve's always done an outstanding job there, and when you go into our library today and the technology that's available to the citizens of our community as a result of what you as Alderman have done, I think it's an outstanding facility. So I do recommend that we appoint Steve Bertrand as the director of the public library. Need a motion. Motion by Alderman Schwade. Is there a second? Second by Alderman Jones. Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Barron. Williams. Fiasco. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Sway. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Okay, we'll move into motions and resolutions. First, we have a resolution honoring and celebrating the life of Charlene Newman.
Mayor Green, if we could, in order to expedite the agenda real quick, I move that we approve items 12A, B, D, E, F, and G. And it's my understanding that Alderman Carl Brown and I will be presenting item 12D at a banquet, I think next week, 10 days, for Pastor Howard Willis. So I move that we approve those items as enumerated.
Your second?
I'll second.
Motion by Alderman Hunter, seconded by Alderman Brown to approve 12A, E, D, E, F, and G. Any questions? All in favor, aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries. The last resolution under there we need to deal with separately. That's to authorize the expenditure of city funds consistent with fiscal years 208, 209. That's simply because we will not have a budget in place by May 1st of 2009. That will be the responsibility of the next administration. So we need this resolution in order to continue spending money in that basis.
I so
Second.
Motion by Alderman Barron, seconded by Alderman Hunter, to approve the resolution for the expenditure of city funds consistent with fiscal year 2008-2009. Any questions? Roll call.
Brown. Hunter. Epstein. Bear. Williams. Piattio. Swanson. Pearson. Jones. Quay. Coleman. Cox. 12 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion carries. We're down to the point in the agenda. Any comments or questions from the alderman? Alderman Hunter?
I probably want to direct a question to you regarding summer jobs for our youth. With the unemployment level rising 13% in the Kankakee Standard Metropolitan Statistical Area, we need to be concerned about jobs for our youth, young adults, and low to moderate income individuals. It's my understanding from reading the journal lately that some of the programs for the school district may be curtailed. And as a consequence of that, we may not have kind of activities for our youth. So as a consequence of that, we briefly discussed at the budget committee, without a quorum, the efforts of the city that should be made to address slots for our youth. It's my understanding that the workforce board, which will deal with jobs for our youth and adults, ages ranging from 14 to 24, and paying a minimum wage of about $8. I've had some conversations with Mary Jo Martin at Workforce Services, and I understand that she has talked with you, and I think you have worked out some deal on this particular project.
That's correct. Actually, when you brought that up at the budget meeting, we had already been in discussions with KCC, with the Workforce Development Board. We have worked with them in the past. We intend to do it again. I told them that we would be happy to take any and all jobs that they had to offer, because we have had them in the past working within the administration part of the city, with the Public Works Department, with the wastewater utility, and we would take as many as they could furnish to us. And I also made the overture that if they applied for any of the additional funds, which you're referring to with the article in the newspaper, we would be happy to do that and make a co-application with that. So yes, we are, and I'm waiting to hear back from Mary Jo exactly how many positions we're slotting in. Alderman Jones?
Mayor, Fairley puts on a summer camp during the summer. Is there any way possible that we could talk to Fairley, see how his summer camp is run, and do something for his children that will not have summer school? Give them something to do if it's co-opted with the park district?
I never thought about it. No, I seriously have not. We're open for any suggestions. I think Chief Kincaid, we've done the summer camp too. I think through with young people through the police department down at Shawnee, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there was a summer camp that was sponsored through the GREAT, Gang Resistance Education and Training. They have stopped funding at this time.
But we'd certainly take a look at it. No reason not to. Any other comments?
Just to remind everybody, public safety will not be tomorrow. There's a conflict tomorrow. Very important activity tomorrow. It'll be Wednesday at 5:15 and the committee changes.
Any other, Alderman Sway?
Is it true that you heard from Congresswoman Feldersen's office?
Yes. I just made a report tonight to the CBA committee that I was notified, actually by HUD, through our consultant in Washington, D.C. We've been awarded into that agency $95,000, which is allocated to trying to complete the Dakota plan in downtown Kankakee. That's a result of what Congressman Weller had started, and Congressman Ellison came in. She carried the legislation on that. We were notified that we had been awarded those grant funds, and we should be expecting them sometime after June of this year. That's when we move to the federal budget.
Did you say that was through Cornerstone?
Yes, I did. One other thing I do want to make a comment to tell you, we just received today from the appellate court, we have been fighting the issue of stages over on East Avenue. The appellate court upheld the city's position and reversed the circuit court here, so we win the case, and there will be an injunction order issued against them closing that facility. That's all I have. Anything else from the owner?
Budget committee, which is next Monday, for at least a while, will continue to be meeting at the city administration.
All committee meetings from here on out are in this building. They're located in the room right across from City Hall. So all committee meetings are there. The city clerk will notify the press that from here on out, meetings will be held there.
Except budget, which is in the announcement there, that would meet with the administration that would not here, because of the proximity of that office to that building.
Jim might really want to carry all that stuff. Anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Alderman Hunter, is there a second? Second by Alderman Swan.